How to feel better. Part 3, also known as how to forgive. Forgiveness is a fundamental principle for anyone, any human being on this earth to be happy and free. We have to forgive. We have to learn how to forgive, and we have to practice forgiveness. There's really no way around that. You could approach it from different schools of thought, scientifically, energetically. The electromagnetic fields were all connected. And if my electromagnetic field is vibrating hate and anger and blame, that's going to be within me. And that's what I'm going to project out. And that's what I'm going to see. From a spiritual point of view, love, God is love, right? The source of all cosmic creative energy and power is a loving energy. That's the highest vibration, is love. And furthermore, blame keeps you powerless. I will say, and I say it every chance I talk about forgiveness, I will be very clear. I am not saying that you might not have a completely justifiable reason to be angry or hurt or mad. And if things happen to you when you were, especially if things happen to you as if you were an innocent young child, you are 100% blameless and innocent. And it's natural to feel like a victim. It's natural, part of the healing process, to blame at first, right? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with feeling like a victim or blaming when you're just starting to unravel the pain of your past. But the goal, and this is what I want to talk about in part 3 too, is the intention, right, is to eventually be happy. I had the intention to be happy. It took me quite a while, and I'm still working on it. It's not like I'm happy 24/7, but I'm happy a hell of a lot more than I used to be, because I always had that intention to be happy, even when I had no idea how to be happy. So that's why I get so fired up and passionate about sharing these messages in these videos, is because it took me so long to get here. And my goal, my intention is that it will not take you as long. It will not take our children as long, because all over the world, the consciousness is raising. Maybe you've noticed, right? It's always darkest before the dawn, and things have gotten very dark these past 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years, and things are breaking and changing. And part of this new consciousness is human beings raising their vibration. And the only way to really raise your vibration is to forgive, let go of all grievances. You can have a grievance or you can have a miracle. You can't have both. You can have love or you can have fear, hatred, blame. You can't have both. So step 3 is practice, practice, practice. It could also say repetition. Repetition is the mother of learning. Repetition. And they say it takes twice as long. If you were in a relationship for a year, it'd take 2 years to get over it. So if you've been hating someone for 5 years or blaming someone, I'm not saying it's going to take 10 years of forgiveness to get over it. But the point of that is that if, like me, I'll use myself as an example, I was in the habit, unconsciously, of course, of blaming and being the powerless victim and being angry. So it has taken me a while to develop new habits. But the good news is you absolutely can. You absolutely can practice, practice, practice. There's so many ways to forgive. Jesus said, when someone asked him, how many times do I have to forgive? This son of a bitch. Of course, he doesn't say that in the Bible, but people have been people since the beginning of time. How many times do I have to forgive this? Oh, fill in the blank. And Jesus said, 70 times 7. Now, I'm no math genius, but I figured that out. That's 490 times. That's a lot of times. So I know Marianne Williamson has this prescription I've seen her give so many times. If you're having a grievance with somebody, for 5 minutes every morning for 30 days, forgive them. Pray, may they be blessed, may they be loved. I forgive you, I love you. And at the end of the 30 days, you will either have true forgiveness for them or it won't matter anymore. And I think that's a great prescription, and I have done it. But I'm going to admit it, for certain people that I have certain feelings towards, it has taken me a little longer than 30 days. So this, I do not come to you as like an expert in forgiveness. Oh, I easily forgive. It depends. If you hurt my kid, that's really hard for this mama bear to forgive, right? And yet I've got to forgive. There's no way around it. So the first step is begin with you. And even the prior steps are you willing to forgive? And you have to decide that you want to forgive. Even if you don't want to forgive, you're going to try to be willing to forgive. The Course in Miracles says it just takes a tiny bit of willingness, right? You don't have to be perfect right away. You just have to just have that desire. I want to forgive. That's a good place to start. I don't want to forgive, but I want to. That's beautiful. Intention is powerful. And so if you have the intention, I want to forgive, that will grow into I want to forgive, and that will evolve into I do forgive and I am forgiving. So there's a multitude of ways that you can envision forgiveness. That very simple Hawaiian one is I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. But if you're trying to forgive someone else, I forgive you. And here's a trick that Louise Hay would teach in her forgiveness meditations. And that is to close your eyes and to imagine, if it was your mother, your father, your uncle, your brother, your big sister, whoever it was that hurt you as you were a little child, imagine that person as a little child. Imagine the biggest bully on the playground as a wounded, innocent little child. And when you see that big, strong bully or that person that you perceived had so much power over you, when you can see them as a wounded little child, it doesn't mean you condone their actions. It doesn't mean you let them off the hook in that regard. But it's a little window into compassion. Compassion that the person who hurt you was hurt. And to hurt another person, that hurt's going to come back on them 1,000%. And if this doesn't work for you, if you can't find compassion for the person who hurt you or who you blame, just do it for yourself. Do it for yourself, just as an act of will. My intention is to be happy. My intention is to be free. My intention is to let this go. So I'm going to practice forgiving them, and just say to yourself, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive myself for letting myself think of myself as a victim. I forgive you. For me, I had to forgive God because I had this childlike faith in God, and yet, how could God let this happen to me? Forgiveness is like medicine. It's like there's an old-fashioned word in the Old Testament, the balm of Gilead, a balm, right? A soothing balm on the wound of an unforgiving mind, an unforgiving heart, the bitterness of blame. It keeps you stuck in the pain of that original wound, which isn't even happening anymore. You, my brother, my sister, you are 100% responsible for feeling better, for forgiving, and for doing these steps. Begin with you, take inventory, and then practice, 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 every day, 70 times 7, every day, all day. Sometimes you might not feel it. Sometimes you might feel it, and you will feel your heart begin to expand. You will start to feel safer in the world. And it's kind of like changing your glasses, right? When you look through the lens of unforgiveness, you see fearful cruelty everywhere. When you look through the lenses of forgiveness, you see innocence and love everywhere. Practice forgiveness. Practice, practice, practice. Do it for your heart. Do it for your mind. Do it for your energy. Do it for yourself. Do it for that little kid that you were, who didn't blame anyone or anything, was free. Set yourself free. Inch by inch, step by step, day by day. Your healing is in your hands and God's hands, the hands of this loving universe. But it requires your hands to change from this to this. And that does require some vulnerability. But it is only in our vulnerability that we are safe. As long as we try to defend and attack, we will be attacked. Forgiveness is a miracle that you yourself can work. When you choose to forgive, you choose to be happy, you choose to be free. And it might take practice, practice, practice. It might take a while. It might take 30 days. It might take 30 years. It might take, I don't know. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it will become a new habit. It will get to the place, I'm at the place now where I forgive, I want to forgive instantly. I don't even want to get that grudge going. Oh, I used to feed grudges for years. I'm not kidding you. And it would lead to deep depression. One grudge. Now, no, no way. I have awareness of what I'm thinking. And when I think of an attack thought, a blame thought, an angry thought, no. I stop it at the gate. It might take me a while, depending on the situation, but it always comes back to me. And your forgiveness and your choices and your thoughts and feelings always come back to you. So practice, practice, practice forgiving, compassion, and let that energy of forgiveness loosen the hold that blame and victim mentality had on your mind, and feel that freedom. Let the peace that passes all understanding rule in your heart and mind today. Let yourself forgive. It's the greatest gift you can give your mind and your heart. Take care.